Welcome back to the Morgan Streetman Show. Again, a tough day, a sad day for our country as we're looking around and seeing everything that's happening. And we enjoy this show because we get a chance to delve into some of these other topics that the mainstream media doesn't cover as much. But this story is such a big story. And so we have to look at it now and see what's gone wrong. Why is this happening? When is it going to stop? I remember when I first saw that video of George Floyd and what happened to him, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I'm like, is this even real? Is this, and so what makes me saddest with all of this is I do really believe that everybody is on the same page. Everybody's on the same page about that police brutality. It has to stop.
Yeah.
It shouldn't have happened. And yet, look at how far apart people are behaving.
Mm-hmm.
How do you think Dr. King would feel today?
How do you think they'd feel?
I feel he felt like he didn't accomplish too much.
Well,
it does feel like we're traveling backwards.
One step forward,
yes.
3 steps back.
You know, what's interesting is that I remember back during the presidential election in 2008, and there was essentially a promise that was made to people, and that is we're finally about to get past racial division in this country. And I know a lot of people, particularly white people, felt like voting for an African-American, a black president. And, of course, Barack Obama was white and black. I mean, he had both parents. And so it's, when you start to look at race, it's like, what is race? I mean, are we stuck back in a period where, like it used to be, where if you had a drop of black blood or African-American blood in you, that you were black, no matter, so and what does it even matter, right? What does it even matter whether somebody's white or black? I mean, that is how I sort of start to look at it, is fundamentally we need to kind of challenge some of these assumptions that it's the most important thing, that somehow your entire personhood comes from this racial identity. I think that's totally wrong. And anyway, the point is, I think we were moving away from that. I thought we were reasonably well past it, but some people would say, well, that's just because you have privilege, because you're white and you don't appreciate it. And I want to be really careful here, because it is somewhat true that I've had a different experience, although not all of my interactions with law enforcement have always been positive. And I'm not a sort of state power authoritarian guy. I'm not a fan of that. I'm more of a libertarian, freedom-minded guy. So I'm generally against the over-exercise of state power that I think we've seen in our country over a long period. But, leaving that aside, I mean, I do have some understanding that, if you're growing up black in this country, there are discussions that your dad would have with you, or your uncle or your grandfather, or somebody in your family, your mother, somebody's going to tell you, son or daughter, if you get pulled over by the police, you need to be really careful because bad things can happen. And I don't remember ever having that conversation had to be had with me. There was never this sort of overarching thought process that, you really need to be careful with the police. So I know there's something different about the way people are experiencing their interactions with law enforcement. And at the same time, that's not the entirety of the story. That's not the entirety of the story. So what I think we've got to do as people when we're looking at this and we're talking about these issues is try to shy away from generalizing, because that's really working against us, where we say, all police are bad. And we know that's not true. I mean, that just defies even logic. It's the same thing as saying all white people are bad or all black people are bad. That just simply can't be true. There's got to be at least one or two good people. And of course, that's not even doing it justice, because there's a lot of good people in each of these communities. In fact, probably the vast majority of the people in each of these groups that we want to break people down into, black, white, police, not police, whatever groups, the majority of the people in those groups are going to be basically good and decent people. And that's basically what we have throughout our country, is good and decent people. Now, there are always going to be people who defy that categorization and who are bad people. And that's going to be in every group that you have across the spectrum. So, But I also, I mean, that video to me of George Floyd being killed there on the sidewalk was so sad, I mean, that's really the overarching feeling that I had, just how sad it was to see a man begging for his life. I mean, he's fully restrained. I couldn't think of any justification. I don't understand when you've got somebody zip tied and their hands are handcuffed and you got their legs zip tied. I mean, I don't understand how you can continue to sit on their neck or sit on their back. And what are you accomplishing by that except for potentially killing them?
I can't believe that all 4 officers thought the same, that it was okay to do that. That just shows you how strong that thin blue line is, that you don't want to go against your partner. Mm-hmm. Where I talked to my partner over the weekend, mm-hmm. and I said, before I talked to him, I told some friends, I'd have pushed the guy off.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And my partner, when he called me, goes, I'd have pushed the guy off.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Why is that? Why didn't that happen with those 3 other people who were there?
Because you don't want to go against your partner. You know, you don't want to go against your partner there, but there comes a time, well, you have to at least say, he's telling you can't breathe. Can you just move your knee to his back?
Right.
Or why did they put him in the car? It's just so blind, that thin blue line, how strong it is, that's got to end. The training and the academies and things like that have got to say, when you see something wrong, you mm-hmm. got to stop that.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
yeah. Well, think about if this hadn't happened, you know, how much destruction of property, how many lives, because other people have died in these riots. I mean, we've seen it. I mean, I saw a guy getting drug around by a FedEx truck that he was apparently, I mean, when you say a FedEx truck, you're talking about a big, you know, double 18-wheeler type, you know, it's probably more than 18-wheeler, but, you know, it's got, you know, 2 trailers attached to it. And, you know, I think that FedEx truck driver was scared to death. You know, I mean, I don't know if folks remember the L.A. riots after Rodney King and mm-hmm. the Reginald Denny mm-hmm. situation where a truck driver was driving through. His truck kind of got mobbed. He stopped. They pulled him out of his truck and bashed his head in with a brick. I mean, he's never been the same. I mean, you know, had major brain injury from that occurrence. And he's lucky to have survived, as are many people that were around during these riots over the weekend, are lucky that they survived. I saw several incidents. I saw a guy in Salt Lake City pull a bow and arrow out of his car, you know, and he got mobbed. Of course, you know, you got to question the sanity of somebody who goes into a situation like this and tries to involve themselves directly. That's not smart. In fact, the only sane thing to do at this point, in my opinion, is stay home. Try to mm-hmm. stay out of it. Mm-hmm. I know that's what I tried to do. I had some friends that were riding around taking videos and just trying to see what was going on. But you understand you're putting yourself into a terrible, terrible, dangerous situation that could, you know, escalate in one direction or another very quickly. And so, you know, but when we look at what's going on, I mean, the rioting and everything else, maybe it would have been better. Maybe these police officers would have protected more and served more if they would have turned around and tackled Derek Chauvin off of Floyd and said, knock it off, man. He's restrained, you know, or even just pulled him off. I mean, what's he going to do? Punch his partner? So just mm-hmm. pull him off the guy. But everybody that I know that saw that video is horrified by it. And that cannot be allowed to happen. You know, at the same time, it's not the only time somebody's been killed. It's not the only time somebody's been killed unjustly, and it's not the only time somebody's been killed by the police. I mean, this has happened many, many times, and it hasn't been restricted. As much as the media is trying to push that narrative onto us, it hasn't been restricted to just one race. I mean, the plain and simple fact is that all kinds of people have been killed by the police. I don't know that it's the epidemic that they're trying to tell us it is, because, I mean, I heard some of these protesters talking, I heard some 15-year-old kid supposedly saying that, you know, children like me die all the time from police violence, and I mean, that's just not true. It's just not true. Does it happen? Yeah, it happens. But it's not an absolute, I was going to say epidemic, and then I'm like, well, you know, epidemic, we're going to be overusing that word again. And we've lost control of our language in the way that we discuss these things as well, because, you know, and that's kind of what I alluded to earlier with this concept of some of the signs that I see that says silence is violence. You know, and it's not. I mean, silence is silence, and you can judge that how you want, but violence is violence. And you cannot equate the two, because then what you say is, okay, well, if you've been silent and you've been violent to me, now I can be violent back towards you.
You know, one of the biggest things is all they're saying is F the system. Mm-hmm. F the system. You know, what is, I mean, we know what the system is, but has it changed? Does it need to be changed? Is that the problem?
Well, is it the system is the problem, or is it? It's hard to know. I mean, here we are. You know, we're going back to generalizing. I mean, we've got to have some degree of law and order. We've got to have a civil society. We've got to have a force.
System.
We've got to have a system. We've got to have a force that can go out and catch criminals and stop them. We can't just let criminals run wild in this country like they do in other countries. Not all countries, but some other countries, you know, and it's a terrible situation. And then the law-abiding people become prisoners of that situation. So, you know, so much more here to unpack. It's hard to even deal with it, and I know I'm just sad. I'm just really sad about our country. Thank you for listening to the Morgan Streetman Show. We hope you enjoyed what you heard, and if you did, please click like and subscribe to help us out. And remember that we recommend that you exercise your brain at least once a week.